Hi, everybody. Welcome to English Digest. I'm Tom.
Hi, I'm Stephanie.
And today is our TOEIC unit. And we're not actually Tom and Stephanie today. We're actually going to be Sylvia and James. And they are discussing who to hire after some job interviews. Which candidate gets the job?
Now, I'm going to be playing the hiring manager. And then James, your head of marketing.
Okay.
So I'm assuming here that Sylvia is actually in HR or human resources. Those are the folks, the department that actually handles the hiring and firing of people. They don't actually fire someone. It's usually, somebody in another department who says, oh, this employee is doing bad things and I want to fire them. And then HR will handle it. But they meet with people and check out resumes. But the person who actually decides who's going to get hired is the actual boss of that person. And so I'm thinking James needs someone to help him in marketing. That's my guess.
Okay, so they're both involved in this decision, of course. So they're getting together and discussing the candidates that they have interviewed for this position, for this open job here. So they need to check their qualifications or their credentials.
Right.
And they need to decide who they're going to hire. So, which candidate gets the job? Let's listen to their conversation now. Stay tuned. We'll be right back to discuss it. Sylvia, the hiring manager, meets with James, the head of marketing.
So, have you decided who to hire for the creative marketing position?
No, and I was hoping to pick your brain about it. I've narrowed it down to 2 outstanding candidates. Here are their resumes and interview notes.
Donna Hopewell and Edward Foster. Yes, I remember their applications. They'd both do really well here.
That's the problem. I can't choose between them. I'd value your advice.
Why don't we go for Donna? I think the marketing team would benefit from a little more gender diversity.
I see your point, but does that mean we're discriminating against Edward because he's a man?
Not at all. We're still picking the best candidate on merit. But in this case, we're taking more into account than their qualifications, experience, and how well they did in the interview.
I'm not really following you.
As I see the situation, at least half of our customers are female. In an ideal world, half of our marketing team would be women as well, to properly represent our customer demographics. Right now, we don't have that, but hiring Donna would help balance things a bit more.
So she's the better candidate because she can better understand our female customers' needs.
Exactly. What's more, it's important to have diversity in any creative team. Having multiple perspectives will result in more creativity and innovation.
That's true. Thanks for your advice. Let's offer Donna the job and take things from there. Okay, let's discuss today's lesson in detail. It's our TOEIC unit for the month of February. And today we're going to ask the question, which candidate gets the job? Now remember, if people are, trying to get a certain position in a company and they're being interviewed for the job, or if they're political people trying to get elected to a political office, we call that person a candidate or a candidate. You can pronounce it both ways. So, of course, last month, there was a presidential election in Taiwan, and we had different candidates running for that position.
That's right. Oftentimes when you go through this process, like I said at the beginning, you'll have human resources or HR. They'll be the people who will post the position internally or within the company and externally, because sometimes you have to go outside the company to find what you need. And then they will go through all the resumes and they'll pick out people to then bring in to interview. And typically they won't interview with HR, they'll interview with the department who wants somebody. But I've always complained about this because I think HR doesn't always give people who might be really good at that position a chance to interview because they don't have the right qualifications or perhaps they don't have the right degree. But I found interviewing people myself, because I've hired people as a boss, sometimes the person with the best background on paper isn't the best employee.
Yeah, there are lots of things to consider. Yes, their qualifications, their credentials, but you also need to consider their personality, their attitude, and stuff like that. So it's probably a very difficult decision, and we've got a couple of people involved in this decision. We've got Sylvia, the hiring manager, and James, the head of marketing, and they are talking to each other about who they want to hire. So Sylvia begins the conversation with a question. She says, "So, have you decided who to hire for the creative marketing position?" So I guess that's the name of this position, creative marketing. Somebody who does marketing in a very creative way.
Yeah, not a market researcher, someone who just looks at statistics, but somebody who comes up with slogans, or how you're going to actually appeal to customers. So if you pick someone's brain, that kind of sounds gross, doesn't it? If you pick someone's brain, just means you talk to them to get their ideas on something. James says, I've narrowed it down to 2 outstanding candidates. To narrow something down means you have quite a few choices to begin with. And what you do is you get rid of the worst choices first, and so you're left with the best choices at the end. And from the best choices, then you pick something. And if you're outstanding, you're wonderful. So if you're described by someone as being outstanding, it means they think you're terrific at whatever you do. You could be an outstanding sister, you could be an outstanding friend, you could be an outstanding employee. All those are good things.
Right, so they're going to narrow it down to 2 outstanding candidates. Of course, they've eliminated all the other possibilities. Oh, we don't like him because of this. We don't like her because of that. So these are the final 2 candidates. And they're outstanding, they're excellent, they're wonderful. And here are their resumes and interview notes. So your 履历表 is your resume. And of course, when they were being interviewed, when they were talking to them, asking them questions, they took notes. So, of course, they've got to look over these things to make their final decision. Now, here's what Sylvia says. The 2 final candidates are Donna Hopewell and Edward Foster. Those are their names.
Cool. And she thinks they'd both do really well if they were to be hired. And James says, that's the problem. I can't choose between them. That's hard. But it's nice to have 2 really great candidates. A lot of times you can't find anybody, right? So he says he'd value Sylvia's advice, whatever she feels about these 2 candidates. And she thinks they should go for Donna. To go for something or somebody means that's your goal. You're pursuing that goal. Let's go for it. Let's do really well. Let's work hard. Let's go for the championship. If you go for somebody, usually you're picking somebody for some sort of position. Maybe your friend can't decide who he wants to ask out on a date. And you say, oh, go for Stacy. She's nicer than, say, Jenny. I'm just making things up. So, yeah, you can go for those things. That's kind of slang, but we use it a lot. She says, I think the marketing team would benefit from a little more gender diversity. When you're talking about diversity, guys, or diversity, I say diversity, but they're both correct. Just means having some variety in something. And nowadays you hear it a lot more because people are trying to diversify their teams at work. Maybe they have too many men, so they want some women, or they have too many Americans. They want to bring in some people that are from Asia or Central Africa. Who knows? But you want a variety of things or people. That's diversity. And James says, I see your point. He understands what she's talking about. But he's worried that this would mean discriminating against Edward just because he's a man.
Yeah, that might be a good question here. So I'm guessing that the marketing team currently is comprised mostly of men. And so Sylvia thinks they should have more gender diversity. Let's have some more women in there. But yeah, if we hire her just because she's a woman, technically we're discriminating against Edward because he's a man. If Edward calls and says, hey, why didn't you hire me? I was qualified for that position. Well, we didn't hire you because you're a man. We hired the other person because she's a woman. So maybe that could qualify as discrimination when basically you judge someone based on their gender or their racial background, their nationality, etc.
That's right. So Sylvia says, no, we're not really discriminating. We're just picking the best candidate on merit. On merit means somebody who's worked for it. is being rewarded because of things they did on merit. But in this case, we're taking into account more than their qualifications, their background, maybe their school degrees, where they graduated from, what other work experience they have. Those are all your qualifications. How well you interview is very important, you guys. And if you're interviewing in English, you need to sit down and practice. Have your best friend give you some questions so you can practice answering spontaneously. She says, as I see this situation, this is her viewpoint. She says at least half our customers are female. We don't know what product they're selling, but it makes sense. Well, in an ideal world, if everything was perfect, that's what that means. Half of our marketing team would be the same as our customer demographics. So, if you're selling to customers, half of which are female, then maybe half of your marketing team should be women as well to kind of get their feeling about how you would best appeal to those female customers. Your demographics are just the stats about whatever audience you're targeting. It could be a company looking at their customer demographics. It could be a school looking at their student demographics. So just all of the data about a group of people, where they're from, male or female, what race they belong to, things like that.
Yeah, demographics just basically refers to the population of a place and different kinds of statistics that you have. How many people are men, women, which race, how old they are, etc. Those are all demographics. So yes, indeed, lots of their customers are women. So yeah, if we have a woman on staff, she'll understand the needs of women better than the men do. That's a logical assumption here. And she goes on to say, right now we don't have that. But hiring Donna would help balance things a bit more. So that sounds like a reasonable choice to make there. And James says, so she's the better candidate because she can better understand our female customers' needs. So he's basically throwing this idea back at Sylvia to make sure she understands. Do you mean this? Is this what you mean? She's the better candidate because she understands the needs of our female customers.
Yeah, you could actually put a question mark at the end of his comment there. So she's the better candidate because she can better understand our female customers' needs? Or just leave it, as a statement. So she's the better candidate because she can better understand our female customers' needs. So they would both be correct. If you put a question mark behind it, that's fine too. She says, exactly. That's exactly what I mean. What's more, it's important to have diversity in any creative team. I wanted to mention here, guys, often we'll use the preposition on. I work on this team. If you're talking about sports, please don't say in. That's incorrect. At work, we go back and forth. I hear mostly people in Taiwan think they work in a team, but we would say we work on a team, probably more than in a team. But here, if you're talking about a work team, it's okay. But a sports team, no. He plays on the Yankees baseball team. You would never say he plays in the Yankees baseball team. That hurts my ears. Ow.
Yep, I'm on the team or I made the team, etc. So, of course, they want to have diversity in their team, on their team there. So, of course, they want to have men, women, etc. on the team so they can have different perspectives on different things. And then Sylvia goes on to say, having multiple perspectives will result in more creativity and innovation. So here we've got the word perspective. That just means your point of view. Okay, so if you have different kinds of people, you're going to have different points of view. People are coming from different places. They have different ways of seeing things. And all that information is valuable, especially if you're a company trying to come up with some new ideas for products and services and how to sell your products and stuff like that. You don't want to keep on using the old ideas because these ideas change all the time. So you want to have different perspectives to come up with some new ideas. It will result in more creativity and innovation. And innovation just means the ability to come up with new ideas, new products, new services, etc.
That's right. So James agrees. That's true. Thanks for your advice. Let's offer Donna the job and take things from there. We'll often use that phrase to say, we're at this particular point in the process. We'll take things from there. Maybe somebody comes for an appointment and you're supposed to meet someone at 2 o'clock. Your assistant brings that person into your office and you say to your assistant, oh, thanks for bringing Mrs. Jones here to my, office. I'll take things from here. So I'll handle things from here. That's what that means. And we'll often use this. I'll take it from here. I'll take things from here. Both of these phrases are correct, but we often use those. Those are some of the phrases you should start incorporating or putting into your own English so you sound more native-like. Yeah, we use a lot of phrases like that. I think the more you watch TV or watch English-speaking movies, the more comfortable and confident you'll be in using some of these phrases that we just throw out all the time. Right now, we're going to listen to our Chinese teacher, and then we've got some useful expressions to talk about and some discussion questions, at least one, so stay tuned.
Hi everyone, my name is Jenny. 今天我们要看这个对话 Which candidate gets the job? 到底是谁得到这份工作？谁被选上了呢？好，对话里面其实这是行销部的主管，还有一个招聘的经理，他们要谈到底该聘任哪一位。好，肖菲尔就说了，所以你决定好了吗？这个创意行销的职位到底要聘谁呢？ Who to hire? 要聘谁？好，这个工作头衔 Creative Marketing Position 创意行销。那 James 也就是 The Head of Marketing 行销部主任，他就说了，我正想问你呢 Pick your brain 当然就是问你看看你有什么想法。他还说 I have narrowed down to 2 outstanding candidates。这个地方的 narrow down 我们知道就是表示缩减，把它缩小范围。这里就是2位，到底该选谁？一位 Donna Hopewell， 一位是 Edward Foster， 2位当然都非常好咯。那 James 就说问题就在这里 I can't choose between them。 我们先想想 choose 是选择，当然如果你后面是2个人2个选项当中，那你就用 between choose between them 2位选一个。如果你现在不是只有2位，是一个范围里头，这些范围内你会用 choose from。 好，那当然就会不是只有2个而已。这里2位要选谁呢？ Sylvia 就说那选 Donna 怎么样呢？他的理由就是说这样子的话可以得到什么样的好处？ Benefit from a little more gender diversity。 我们知道 benefit 就是获利，至于后面这个片语 gender diversity 就是指性别的多样化。换句话说，不会是某一个性别比较多而另外性别比较少，有一个多样性而不是单一的。好，那 James 就说没错，可是如果你选 Donna， 当然我们知道 Donna 是女性，那这是不是表示 you're discriminating against Edward because he's a man？ 意思我们知道 discriminate 就是代表歧视，当你说歧视谁，后面的介系词是 against。 如果你选了 Donna， 那是不是也表示 Edward 是男性，然后你呢就歧视他了，差别对待他了？好，注意到 discriminate 是一个 VI， 也就是它是不及物动词加 against 再加受词。接下来 Sylvia 就说了也不是这么讲哦。那当然选是要选最好的，是根据什么选？ On merit 是根据他们的优点来选的。不过我们要考虑的接下来这句话 In this case, we are taking more into account than their qualifications, experience, and how well they did in the interview. 我们看一下这边说到 more than， 当然如果我们要考虑 take into account， 这是考虑要比后面这个多，意思就是不只有后面这几个讲的资历啦、经验啦，或是面试里面的表现，不只这样而已，还有别的。好，那其实 James 说了一句 I'm not really following you. I can't follow somebody. 不一定是跟，而是表示听不懂，也就是你说的我好像不太懂。好，这是什么意思呢？ Sylvia 她当然就接着解释，其实在我们来看，我们的客户有一半是女的，那我们的行销团队是不是有一半也应该女性？所以这样子来说，就是我们的顾客的这个人口统计资料，既然是如此，我们用的人，我们团队里面的性别部分也应该反映出来。好，看到这边，他说 Our customer demographics， 我们知道 demographics 通常就指人口的分布组合，那这边提的是顾客人口的分布组合。好，那所以 James 他就比较懂了，因为的确的，我们选了 Donna， 就是因为说他可以更好的了解我们女性顾客的需求。好咯，所以在我们这个团队里面有达到一个 diversity， 有 diversity 也就是有一个多样性，对一个团队来说是非常的重要的，因为你这样子也带进了多元的观点咯，观点 perspective。 好，当然从多元的观点也就可以相对的有更多的创意，有更多的 innovation 改革革新。好，对话到这里也差不多就告一个段落了， James 就下了结论说的确如此咯，我们就决定用 Donna。 接下来呢 take things from there， 这个意思就是说，那我们以后再看看后续情况如何。好，我们讲解就到这边，我们下次见。
We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
All right, let's continue our lesson for today. Now, we know a number of you, dear listeners, are high school students, and eventually you're going to be, studying at university, and then you're going to go for those job interviews. So it's a good idea to be prepared, and hopefully we can prepare you for that today. We wish you the best of luck in your future career. And if you're going to join a marketing team, of course, you want to be able to offer lots of ideas. So some of the useful expressions we have for you today involve brainstorming, just coming up with all sorts of ideas, no matter how crazy they are. Just say them, just spill it all out, and see if any of them can be accepted.
It's kind of scary brainstorming at work sometimes. And even though they'll always say, no idea is dumb, no idea is too strange, sometimes when you do shout out some ideas and they are weird, it sometimes could be embarrassing. I'll be honest, we used to have brainstorming sessions at my old job a lot of times because we had some really clever, creative people. So brainstorming, number one. So that's the problem we're facing. Any ideas or suggestions? So you could explain whatever situation you're up against, whatever problem you're facing, and then to get other people to give you some feedback, some ideas, some of their brainstorming ideas at least. Any ideas or suggestions? That's kind of a question to get people started. Typically, you would have a whiteboard or piece of paper, where you could just have someone, that was their only assignment. They didn't have to come up with ideas. They were just to write down the ideas that people came up with in the room.
Yep, just let it all hang out. Everybody says stuff and somebody writes them down no matter how crazy. So yes, that's the problem we're facing. Any ideas or suggestions? Does anybody have something to add? Do you have any more ideas? Etc., etc. Now here's another possible suggestion here. Perhaps we could carry out some market research first. Yes, sometimes, of course, if you want to develop a product or a service, you need to make sure that there's going to be someone out there who's going to be interested in your product or your service. So yeah, perhaps, maybe we could carry out some market research first. Let's do some surveys to see if people would actually be interested in this product.
This third one, why don't we work with another company to develop this product? Why don't we? You could also use, how about working with another company? So you'd use a gerund after that. How about working with another company? How about doing a survey? How about changing our slogan? How about doing a new commercial? Why don't we work with an ad agency and come up with a new commercial? All of these are good ways to come up with some ideas that might help your company. Now, here's the discussion question. Tom, do you think Taiwan has gender equality in its office culture? give reasons for your answer.
Well, because I've been an English teacher for so many years, I really haven't worked in an office setting too much. But basically, from what I've seen, it seems like you got men and women working together, doing the same general things. So yeah, I would say there is gender equality in the office culture here in Taiwan. But again, that's kind of limited because, I've always been the English teacher and been watching other people. But sometimes you do see the guys tend to be the techies, working on the computers and stuff, while the women tend to be more involved with the personal kinds of stuff, maybe teaching or nursing or whatever. So maybe that exists. But from what I've seen, it seems like things are pretty much 50-50.
I've been in companies, quite a few companies actually, where there are a lot more women. I've taught in insurance companies and pharmaceutical companies. And I have to say, for the most part, the teams are primarily women. So sometimes I look around and I think, where are all the guys? Although I was at KPMG and there were a lot of guys in that company. Probably a few more guys than there were women, but I don't think Taiwan has a problem with gender equality at all. And a lot of families have both the wife and the husband working because the older generation, the grandpa and grandma, are willing to stay home and take care of the kids, which is something that's nice. And you don't have to take your children to a daycare, which is scary, I think, for me at least. So talk about this. I think it's a great discussion question. I think gender equality would have a lot to do with what industry you're talking about, If you're talking about maybe electronic industry or maybe the automobile industry, although I taught at Ford too here, and there were a lot of women. So go ladies, go guys. I'm not against guys. I think guys are great too. So this is a great discussion question. We also have some more that we're going to record for you that you can also check out as well. Practice speaking, practice debating. It will improve your English skills. That's all the time we have for right now. We're going to say goodbye, but we have one more day on this TOEIC unit. We hope you'll come back soon for that. For English Digest, I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Tom. Goodbye.
Bye.